Welcome back in, everyone, to another episode of the SurgeCast. The holidays got the best of us, but we are now back. We have a great show for you guys today. We'll be going through the injury bug, which Rod Brind'Amour himself said is unprecedented. We'll be looking at individual stats for all the skaters on the Canes and really just have a roundup show of how the 2025 part of the 25-26 season has gone for the Canes. We'll look at some team stats as well and do a small game preview for the Montreal game, as we'll have a special guest for a live show on Friday. So make sure y'all are tuned in for that. But we'll jump right in before we get into injuries. Kat, Zach, how are we doing? Welcome back in.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Again, I'd like to apologize as I feel like I have jinxed the beginning of this season with injuries, as I myself sustained an injury right before the season started. So I will take full accountability for that. I wish it wasn't the case, but it's good to be back. The holidays in December are always a little bit crazy with lots of games at Lenovo, birthdays, Christmas, family stuff, all the in between. So it's good to be back and talking Canes hockey, even though it is a little bit of a mixed bag right now.
Yeah, no, good to be back. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so it's good to have the gang back together again. Like Kat said, talk about a mixed bag of emotions over the last, month since we recorded the last, going into 2026 now. So, yeah.
And yet the Canes are still somehow first in the Eastern Conference, but we'll touch on that later. Starting with the injury roundup, as Kat mentioned, she set the tone for the season when it comes to injuries for the Canes. In this injury roundup, we'll go from kind of the most serious injuries down to kind of day-to-day guys. So starting off, kind of the breaking news before the game. I've lost track of my days. Was that Monday? Yes, Monday. Pyotr Kochetkov to undergo surgery, declared probably out for the year by Rod Brind'Amour. So Pyotr likely toast for the season. Charles Alexis the GOAT, he suffered that cut to his hand punching the blade. I believe he was 3 to 4 months back on November 10th, so he's probably about halfway through, maybe seeing him come back on the other side of the Olympic break. Jacob Slavin injured, one of two Canes injured in that Florida game. Labeled week to week by Rod Brind'Amour, was placed on injured reserve December 22nd. Seth Jarvis, the other one to go down in that Florida Panthers game. Upper body injury. He was placed on IR on December 20th. He's also labeled week to week by Rod Brind'Amour. Finally, Shane Gostisbehere missed the past 2 games due to lower body injury. No update from Rod Brind'Amour post-game, I believe, so he's still day-to-day. Kat, Zach, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most concerned, how concerned are you about the Carolina Hurricanes injuries this season? Because it seems like this just never stops.
I know. I think my score when we asked this previously was a little bit lower. Currently, it ranges. I think it's up to a 7 at this point. And that's honestly in part to Piotr's injury more than anything else. Because, well, it's a number of factors, but the fact that some of these injuries seem to be a little bit longer term, like Jarvis, you have an idea of what's going on with him. You don't know how long he's going to be out. And if you look at, we'll talk about stats later, that's a lot of missing points that is now not on the ice for the Canes. You're missing a defensive, again, like we've been missing Slavin the whole time. You got so excited he was back, and then out he goes again, and then you miss Ghost. Those are some crazy. I think Ghost is obviously going to be the one that's probably going to pop back in a little bit sooner. But yeah, the Pyotr injury was a little bit more of a thing that got everyone a little bit more on edge, because you kind of thought, okay, we've got Bussy. That's probably kind of sliding into our number 1 spot. And Piotr's numbers behind him when he could play, were pretty good. So you're like, okay, we've got our 1 and 2 with Freddie here every now and then. Now that you're going between just Bussy and Freddie, I think everyone is back to that, hey, we need a goaltender conversations. I understand why Pyotr probably did it. If it keeps bothering him, you're running a 3 goaltender system. You're like, I might as well get out of the way and then see where it goes. But I think that one has me a little bit more worried just because with our defensemen kind of having an iffy season going in and out and our defense not where it normally is, having a goaltender you trust back there is a big deal. And I was kind of really excited for the Bussy Piotr tandem. So that's got me a little bit of a 7 right now. But again, we're only halfway through the season. So could change.
Yeah, I would say if you asked me this like a week ago, I think I'd give you like a 5 just because of the fact that the Hurricanes have been playing so well this season despite all the adversity of the injuries. But now, like with Kat said, now you got Piotr out. Goaltending behind Bussy's a little like, I don't know how this is going to work out. And then, yeah, you lose Seth Jarvis and you're talking about a guy, that's 19 goals off the board, 29 points, shorthands, game winners, stuff like that. Like that's your number one goal scorer out of the lineup with no real updates. And I know someone asked Walt Ruff about it. If there's any updates, he's like, no, nothing since that he's going to be out for a while. Same thing for Slava. Like you're really excited for him to, hopefully he pops on the the USA roster for the Olympics. And now that's in question when that's dropping Friday. And, Shane Gostisbehere has been playing well, and he's probably one of your best offensive defensemen. And he's out again for, I think, the 3rd time this season. So it's like he just can't catch a break. And they're treading water right now, but losing Jarvis on the front end of your top 6 when he was basically scoring almost all your goals for the most part, and your best defensive defenseman's gone, your best offensive defenseman's hurt again, and now you lose your number 2 or your 1B goalie, and now you're kind of like almost in dire straits in goaltending again. Yeah, I'd say about a 7. I'm almost borderline 8 if this continues to where it's going to be a struggle almost every other night to start getting wins with where we're at with the roster.
Yeah, I'm at an 8 because as we get into kind of the individual skaters and stats, we've had 15 different forwards play this season, 10 different defensemen, and 3 goaltenders. That is a lot of bodies. And for the fact of, again, you lose Seth Jarvis, you're losing your best player essentially on both sides of Jarvie, Slava on the blue line. That's concerning. Ghost has been in and out with injuries this season. Again, I've always spoken to you're going to play your best hockey and hopefully you're healthy post-Olympic break. We're getting a lot closer to that than we were before. So I won't be a full-blown panic until then, but I'm very worried based on the way this game or this season has gone in terms of injuries for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Honestly, I was thinking about it. Jarvis's injury is giving me flashbacks to when Svetch went out with his injury that one season where we seemed to be going pretty good. Svetch got injured, went a little bit off rail, and you're like waiting for Svetch to come back. And it's just giving me a little bit of PTSD from that, where it's like you can't be sitting around waiting for a player to come back. Other teams in the league are also missing big players. I mean, even look at Florida Panthers. I hate to bring them up, but like they are a team that they're like, it doesn't matter our injuries. We're going to keep doing the same old thing. We're going to get the wins. Like you got to push through it. And we've had a couple of players step up, and then we've also had a couple of players that haven't. And it's interesting to see kind of where they are right now. But you're right. You're getting closer to the part where it's like, all right, it might be time to panic. Earlier, struggling with injuries, all this stuff at the beginning of the season, you're still pulling out wins. But now you're getting to the point where like, why aren't you pulling out wins when you should have? Like you can't blame it on injuries. You can't blame it on X, Y, and Z because you've had this all season and now you're faltering to it. So
no, I mean, and you're right though, Kat, because of the fact that like, you're talking about a team who's got the first team in the Eastern Conference to get over 50 points. Your home and road records are almost dang near similar. It's a lot better than it was last year for the road. Like you're getting the job done, but now it's like, okay, you can't really wait for guys to come back. And we went through this goaltending process last year where you're like, you had one really good goalie, then you kind of one goalie where you're kind of like, I don't know how he's going to be. And like, do we want to go through that again? And yeah, you got that. I mean, that break for the Olympics is going to be great for a lot of these guys, but where you look at the roster, I think the Hurricanes, I mean, everyone's scoring for the most part, but you kind of feel like there's more guys on certain nights getting more of the job done. And I feel like the depth is maybe not as good as it usually was in the past. So yeah, I'm not a full-blown panic just because of the fact where we're at in the standings. and how the team is playing overall. But if we're going to start getting through the Olympic break closer to the trade deadline, which is right after that, essentially, which is crazy. I think that break is so long that it immediately is, all right, here's the deadline. What's your move going to be? Because right now, I still feel like that this team is going to make the playoffs. I think we're going to get a deep run, but how deep that run is going to be is depending on where you're going to fix the maybe weaknesses that you need to fix in this lineup.
And speaking of that lineup, let's go ahead and take a look at all the guys that have played this season. I'm going to read a lot of numbers, but this is to put everything into perspective on how the Canes season has gone so far. I'll be going in order of games played in terms of forward group, defenseman. So we'll start with the forward group. Sebastian Aho, 39 games played, 14 goals, 21 assists for 35 points. He is a +1. Also tied for 42nd in the NHL in points. Anyone that's in the top 50, I'll give a shout out to. Shout out Fishy. Andrei Svechnikov, 39 games played, 10 goals, 17 assists for 27 points. He is a -2. Nikolai Ehlers, 39 games played, 8 goals, 18 assists for 26 points. He is a +2. Jackson Blake, 39 games played, 12 goals, 12 assists for 24 points. He is a -4. Taylor Hall, 39 games played, 7 goals, 10 assists for 17 points. He is a +4. Logan Stankoven, 39 games played, 6 goals, 10 assists for 16 points. He is a +5. Those are your 2, 4, 6 guys that have played every single game from the forward group. Moving on to guys that have missed some games or have only been called up for a few. Jordan Stahl, 36 games played, 10 goals, 6 assists for 16 points. He is a +2. Jordan Martinook, 36 games played, 6 goals, 7 assists for 13 points. He is a +5. Seth Jarvis, 34 games played, 19 goals, 10 assists for 29 points. He was at a 0. Even as of today, he was tied for 16th in the NHL in goals. That's tied with Martin Necas and Connor Bedard, as well as others. So obviously huge loss there. Eric Robinson, 33 games played, 9 goals, 3 assists for 12 points. He's a +6. William Carrier, 32 games played, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points, +1. Mark Jankowski, 28 games played, 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. He is a +3. Jesperi Kotkaniemi, way down here, 23 games played, 2 goals, 4 assists for 6 points. He is a +1. Bradley Nadeau, 8 games played, 2 goals, 0 assists for 2 points. He was a -2. And then finally, Justin Robidas, 2 games played, 0 goals, 1 assist for 1 point. He was a 0. So a lot of numbers. Obviously, the stats aren't the only thing from this season, but who from this forward group has both impressed you this season and who has disappointed you? Zach, I'll have you start.
Impressed. I mean, sorry, Rich. I know you're probably going to pick this guy, but I'm going to have to beat you to the punch on this one. Jackson Blake. My goodness, he's going to break his rookie numbers out of the water by a good margin. I think we're going to see 20 to 25 goals. We're going to get 40, 45 points out of this kid. Like, he is, like, the goal against Minnesota, absolutely disgusting. Shootout goals are just grade A filthy. Like this kid can just stick handle in a London phone booth. That's how good he is. His stick handles are out of this world, and I love how he's been playing this year. Like, second line right wing, playing great. I mean, even with Seth Jarvis out, he's got like a small stint on that top line. I think I wish he got more time up there because I feel like he can play on that top line with Jarvis out because that's how good he is. It's like, because I talked to him before the season, like we're talking like first preseason game, I was able to sit down with him just, in the locker room and just, talk about what his mindset is. It's just for him, second season in, it's just getting better every day and feeling comfortable knowing that he's with the team. And yeah, I would say he's feeling pretty comfortable where he's at already. And that's just how great he's playing this year. So I definitely picked Jackson Blake. Guys, I would say I'm kind of maybe disappointed with. If you asked me this like a month or so ago, I would say Andrei Svechnikov before he's popped off, and great to see Andre back. However, the guy I am kind of disappointed in, and I know a lot of people are going to be kind of maybe on the same boat. Just Barrett Kokeniemi, man. Like, I know he hasn't played a lot of games. He hasn't really, because you've heard Rob Brind'Amour say, I would love for him to use his body. He'd like to use the size, but he kind of just doesn't. Like, yeah, he might have some games where he plays well, kind of, but he's just not getting the games. Even when he's in, you're not really seeing a whole lot of him outside of a few hits. And I like just Barrett Kokeniemi, but at the same time, it's kind of like he's not a second line center. They can't play him on the fourth. He really is a 3C guy, but unfortunately, Jordan Stahl's still there. And at this point, you're paying $4.82 million for what? 6 points. I'm just not seeing where it's at right now with him, and I want him to thrive, but for me, he's struggling, and the ice time is showing it. He's been healthy scratched a lot. He's back in because of injuries.
All right, I'll go. I will say, yes, I agree with you that Jackson Blake is having himself a season. His stick handling, like, he works some magic. He's becoming Jordan Stahl, King of Tips 2.0. So really impressed with him. I would argue the only reason I would keep him on the second line is he has great chemistry with Ehlers. The speed and the creativity of those two, honestly, shines no matter who's their center. But I would say, to start off, my player that I've been most impressed with, which I think a lot of people have, especially recently, because he's been getting the chances and he's taken them, is Eric Robinson. This is a guy you had killing it last year. Everyone was like, wow, who is this guy? Because he's doing great with Natchez. Natchez had his normal, like, kind of fall off, go cold, and it also affected Robinson. Hit a switch up of line mates, got pushed down to the fourth line a couple times, but to start the season, he was like, I don't care if I'm on the fourth line, I'm going to be scoring. He had chemistry with Taylor Hall. He gets put up on the second to the first line at time. He gets everywhere because his speed and his physicality just make him such a threat. And he's been a finisher as of recently. So I love that he's taking all of his opportunities and doing what he can with them. He's one of those guys where, like, okay, we see Fly skating and you're like, all right, he's going to get there. Look how fast he is. But Robbie, for his size, is incredibly fast. The amount of times I've seen him nullify icing is incredible. I love that he's getting that chance at the top line a little bit now. So I've been really impressed with him. Again, he's a guy that can kind of be a third or fourth liner, but if you give him the right opportunities and he takes them, I'll put him up on the second or first line, no problem. I will disagree with you a little bit on Jesperi Kotkaniemi, on who I'm least impressed with, just because he hasn't had a lot of games in. He's been fourth line. And which, to be fair, with him, Robinson and Taylor Hall, they've all had, like, they had a good chemistry down there and then he's had a struggle of a bout with injuries. I've actually been really impressed with KK the last couple of games. He has shown up physically. He's done really great on that second line, given this opportunity right now with Blake and Ehlers, and his faceoff percentage is insane. So I feel like if he keeps that up, he can really, like, keep himself there. It's a matter of consistency, which I feel like, again, like you said earlier, we probably would have said a couple weeks ago, Andrei Svechnikov, who is another player, has been kind of inconsistent. So I don't feel like it's fair to just put that on Jesperi, where Andrei also struggled with that. His recent play, I've been really impressed with both of those guys. I'm actually going to say someone that I think I'm going to get more people upset with me. And the numbers don't really add up to what I'm saying, but if you watch it, you kind of agree. But I'm going to say I'm kind of disappointed with Sebastian Aho. Rich and I were even talking, like, the numbers don't really make sense because he does lead. And is it goals, Rich, or points?
It's points. And it's points only. Yeah, Shane's got the assist.
But I will say, for anyone that's like, no, he's been doing so well, he's like our next up captain, like, he does everything. listen, guys, if you watch the games, and Rich is showing right now, the amount of times I'm so frustrated when he will pass up a shot and he'll go for a hard pass, or he'll try to get it to Svet, who has the harder option, and he just gives up so many scoring opportunities. And for people to be upset with, like, okay, so yes, Barry's not scoring. He's that center. He's not scoring. He's not producing the way he's supposed to do. Okay, first of all, he'll try to shoot. I'm sorry if not all the shots are great. They're going wide. They're getting, like, he's a little snake bitten there. So I'm like, okay, but he'll set up the guys. If you watch, Aho does a lot of the same thing, but he shoots even less. Like, he'll do a lot more, and you're like, well, he has all these points, and he's leading in these goals, all this stuff. That's a lot of overtime when it's 3v3, and he's finally shooting. And there's just so many moments where you get frustrated, and you're like, why didn't they shoot there? And it's Aho passing it up, and I don't know why, because Aho of old that I remember with especially with Teuvo Teravainen, is Teuvo was his passer and Aho would shoot all the time. And ever since Teravainen left, Aho has become more of the passer and the playmaker, which is fine because now you've got Jarvis coming in and, like, I got to shoot. Like, no one's shooting. I've got to take it on himself. Svetch is starting to get into that. But you also, like, Aho has that creativity. We've seen him, like, he finished off the New Jersey Devils in the playoffs. If he could just shoot it more and be a little bit more of that guy that takes charge and is like, I'm going to crash to the net. I'm going to go for this. But I see more often or not, he passes off the opportunity. And I just don't see that drive until it gets to overtime or some, like, those last couple of minutes. I just get more of it from Jarvis. There's a reason Jarvis is leading with the goals and everything, because he's taken on that responsibility of, if no one else is going to shoot, I'm going to do it. And Jackson Blake started to do it too. He's like, I'm going to shoot. No one else is shooting. And I hope, for the love of God, Nikishin also takes that responsibility. But there's so many ways that Aho is a leader. I want him to lead with that, with a team that struggles with getting the shot in, with getting that pressure. Like, he is such a good player. That's where I get the most frustrated with him. And that's where I'm, like, the least impressed with him. Again, the numbers, he always has good numbers, because even when he has an off game, he's going to find the assist. He's going to help make a play. But individually, the effort, I just don't see him there up top there with Blake or with Jarvis. And even some of the other guys, like, sometimes I see Martinook making this whole hard play by himself, getting to the front, getting pushed down. And I want I know Aho's not that nitty gritty player, but I need a little more of that individual effort rather than getting up there and passing it off when it's like, you could have taken that shot, or, like, throw it at the net, Aho, get a rebound, get something. So I would say that's the person I'm least impressed with. I'm not going to say he's playing bad. I'm not going to say get him off the team or anything, like sit him or anything. I just want more from him, especially if he's the one that everyone's tapped in as, like, okay, that's probably your next captain. You talk about Stahl not stepping up at times. I see the fire in Aho, but I need more fire in front of the net, please.
It's
that would
funny
be my forwards.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that, because his shooting percentage is actually higher than it was last year, 15.9 this season.
But he wasn't good last year with it. He wasn't. That's not a good thing.
No. I'm agreeing with you. But the thing too is, you mentioned overtime. Kat, he has 1 overtime goal this year. He has 4 power play goals, and I get what you're saying. And the whole Jesperi thing, I agree with you. Yeah, Svetch had a very slow start. There are some games we kind of want more out of him too. So I'm not putting all on Jesperi. I want him to succeed. It's kind of tough. It's just the inconsistency is getting that's the consistent part, is the inconsistency out of him. And it's just, you need a center that's going to be capable. And I wish we could see that out of him. And I agree with Andre. Like, he had a very slow start, like, and that's the thing too. But yeah, Aho, like you said, it's crazy. The points are there. It's always the assists. It's like, you might see some goals out of him. There's some games we've seen games this year. He's had games where he has 0 shots on goal. And I'm like, how are you not putting shots on goal? Like, that's great. Detroit, 0 shots. The game against Florida, 0 shots. The game against Tampa Bay, 1 shot. Like, there was a stretch of 3 games. He had 1 shot in 3 games between Tampa, Florida, Detroit. And he had 2 against the Rangers and 2 against Pittsburgh. But yeah, like you said, he gets the assist in Detroit, gets the assist against the Panthers. And it's like, okay, well, you're getting the points, but you're not putting the puck on the net. And yeah, you kind of wish you got more of those shots out of him. It's a very inconsistent shooting.
100%.
Like he has the wonders. It's just
I
there.
charge everyone listening from now on when you're watching. They're about to go on a stretch of road games, so obviously, when you're watching from home, or even if you're going to some of the couple upcoming home games, just watch. Just keep an eye on Aho, see what he's doing. See if you notice the amount of times you are yelling shoot and the puck is on his stick. It's just something I've noticed of recently. And I hope with Jesper for your case, I hope that he does keep taking this opportunity. Stankoven's gone in a little bit of a slump. I hope he takes this opportunity of being with Ehlers and Blake to really solidify his game. Because again, I mean, I know the last game wasn't great for anyone, but he has played really well beside them these last couple of games, and I want to see more of that.
The problem is, Rod said when Jarvis is back, Stank's going right back to the center spot. That means,
but that's not that's not anytime soon. So I want him to do what he can with the opportunity.
Oh no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying that's what Rod has said. So that's kind of the bad part of it. Was when Jarvis comes back, KK's gonna be in a battle with Jan Kankowski for one of the center spots. And a real quick honorable mention for a guy I'm impressed with, Joel Nystrom. I know he's kind of now back and forth with Chicago.
Whoa, we're not on that
We're not
yet.
on defenseman yet.
We're not on defenseman yet.
Sorry.
How about you,
Sorry,
Rich?
go ahead, Rich.
Yeah. Obviously Jackson Blake, obvious answer here. Shout out JB. That's my dog. Always has been from day one. But I'll give you someone else. Jordan Stahl, the captain, tied for fourth with Andrei Svechnikov in goals this season. It's what you need for your captain. When you need him, he shows up. It's him being a big body on the power play. You have a trust in him that he's going to do the right thing most of the time. And again, that's why he's your captain. Where who's impressed me, disappointed. I just mentioned his name because he's tied with Jordan Stahl to an extent. Andrei Svechnikov, yes, he's played well as of late, but to the same point of maybe a Jesper Kotkaniemi, the up and down, you can't have that from a guy that's almost making $8 million a year. Mike mentioned it, 2 years ago before the season started, 40 goals, brother. You're currently at 10. And we're almost halfway through the season. A 20 goal pace for someone that's getting paid that much should not be the standard for Andrei Svechnikov. So I need him to continue to light it up and be that true power forward, continue scoring goals. I need that from Svech. So he has been the one who's been disappointing for me.
Yeah, I can definitely see why. His run as of late has been really good, but that's a lot of ask for a guy that is what 4 power play goals in one game winner, but like you said, 10 goals. I'm curious to see how many empty netters those are as well on top of that, because a lot of people always talk about how Andrei Svechnikov is a empty goal merchant. So. Like I said, nothing against Andre. I love the guy. He's a great player, but at the same time, it's kind of like you said, Rachel, you're talking about $8 million, almost $8 million a season, and you're 10 goals. We got guys making less that are already like Jackson Blake's at 12, and his contract doesn't kick in. You got Jarvis already at 9. Jarvis had, before he got hurt, Jarvie was going to have at least 25 before we hit the 2026 flip of the calendar. If he wasn't knocked out of the Florida game, he could already be in the 20s.
I'm just going to say net front Jordo is something that should never go away. And
oh my gosh,
I will credit that man with single-handedly saving our power play. Listen, we were trying to figure out why the power play wasn't working. You got all the pieces. But
front presence.
As soon as Stahl got on there, which I still credit, I think we should keep him out there a little bit more. But again, with Jarvis out, everything's been a little bit more changed up. I understand why they would flip between him and Blake. But as soon as he was there, if you notice, as soon as he gets there, it frees up everyone else. Everyone else was trying to figure out, okay, am I going to go to the front of net? Am I going to shoot? But it frees everyone else up. Now you don't have Blake going and fighting for in front of the net, and you've got him as a shooter. Same with Svech. Honestly, there were times where Hall was still going to the net, he was going for I guess I could say it the lower tip, and then Jordan Stahl was taking the higher one. But I was like, Hall, you need to switch. What are you doing? That's not your spot. That I understand he hasn't been there for a while, but switch up, man. Why are you letting the big man be in front of you? But it was I will credit him for as much criticism as people have had of him in the past. His net front presence again. We are now, I think, we're not bottom of the league anymore. I think
No.
we're 20. We're like almost 20th in the league.
Yes,
now.
spoiler alert from the team stats section. The Canes have risen 10 spots since our last episode, where they were dead last in the league in power play. They currently rank 22nd as of this recording. So Jordan Stahl is up the power point,
oh my God, I'll take
raised
it.
by 10 positions.
And honestly, you're missing Jarvis right now, so that's gonna keep you from going up probably more. But Jordan Stahl, keep doing what you do, big guy.
The crazy part is, I think Walt put it out there. I think it was like, what was it, like 11? Was it 11 power play goals in the last 12? It was some insane stat. We were getting almost like a power play goal a game, essentially. Like we've entered in fuego mode for this power play for the Carolina Hurricanes. And I'll say that I love the Jordan Stahl, like keep him net front. Here's someone who I would love to see on PP2, just to be that net front presence guy who's got the physicality and that scoring touch. Give me some Eric Robinson. Park him in front of the goal. Give him some opportunities. I mean, hey, Stefan Nason was a bottom six guy who thrived on the power play as your net front guy. Throw Eric Robinson in there. He's got the body. He's got the touch.
The second unit could use some help, so I'm not opposed to that.
That's what I'm saying. Give us some E-Rob. Why not?
I'm just going to say, for our leadership team, I'm going to say I credit the rise of the power play with Jordan Stahl, which I want to note is that our power play is doing better, and overall our team has actually been struggling. So I'm kind of tired of, I'd almost rather go back to when we were doing so well and sucking at the power play, because apparently we do better and we don't need that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
give
we
me
can't
the
have both.
5-on-5 goals instead. But yeah,
we can't do both. It's crazy.
I'm gonna credit Stahl with the power play. More honestly, I'm gonna credit him more than Ghost. Sorry, Ghosty, but I'm gonna credit Stahl with it, because it was still struggling when it was just Ghost. But I'm gonna say this, and I know none of us are surprised by this, so I'm gonna credit power play on Stahl, and I'm gonna credit the penalty kill on Slavin, because this year our penalty kill has struggled. And you know who's not been in the lineup? Slavo.
Yeah, we'll jump into that. We're moving too far into the team stats. Let's get back into the individual player recap.
Rich is like, no, come back.
From the forward group,
defenseman.
The defenseman. Yeah, it's everyone's first show back in a month.
There's a lot to talk about.
I'm back to the intern. Intern always lost control of the show. Moving on to defenseman. Here are some more numbers for y'all. Going through again, most games played to the least games played for the 10 different defensemen that have played a game so far for the Carolina Hurricanes. Starting off with Sean Walker, only defenseman to play every single game. So 39 games played, 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points, -10. Alexander Nikishin, we'll touch on that in a second. Alexander Nikishin, 38 games played, 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points. He is a +12. Jalen Chatfield, 32 games played, 0 goals, 7 assists for 7 points. He is a +8. Keandre Miller, 31 games played, 2 goals, 12 assists, 14 points. He is a -3. Shane Gostisbehere, 28 games played, 4 goals, 25 assists for 29 points. He is a +12. Joel Nystrom, 28 games played, 0 goals, 7 assists, 7 points. He is a +4. Mike Riley, 26 games played, 1 goal, 5 assists for 6 points. He is a +8. Charles Alexis Legault, 8 games played for 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. He was a +4. Jacob Slavin, only 5 games played, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points, -2 in the 5 games that he played. And then we also got a Dominic Fensori appearance for 1 game, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points. He was a -2 that game. So from the defensemen, all 10 that have played so far, who's impressed you? Who's disappointed you? Kat, give us your people.
I have a lot of thoughts on the defensemen. This season has been all about the defensemen. Let's be honest. They've been the story of this season, which you thought with a lot of roster moves up top, that would probably be more of that, but no. So I have a tie on who's impressed me the most. With an honorable mention too. Honestly, Nystrom, I think, has impressed a lot of people. he has fit right in. He's taken the opportunity. I wish Legault had also he was kind of getting into this before he got injured, but Nystrom has taken it in stride. He's shooting the puck. He's becoming a playmaker. He moves his feet. He plays so well and so seamlessly. You forget that it's his rookie season with us. So I've been really impressed with Nystrom. I'm not nervous when he has the puck. I'm very confident in him. For sliding into a defense, like you're going on a team that has such a strong defense and you're the guy filling in for some of the strongest defensemen and then they're out on injury. That's a lot of pressure. Especially on a team that had just between Brind'Amour and everyone, they're like talking so much about defense that's a lot of weight. So I would say he is my biggest, I'm the most impressed with him. I say I tie him a little bit with everyone's favorite Russian in Nikishin, just because he's been given a lot. Like at first you were like, he's not getting a lot of minutes. And then he gets put with Ghost, which I don't understand why we don't put him back with Ghost at times. Now when Ghost is back from injury because they did so well together, but that's a different story. So he gets put with Ghost and then he gets put with Walker. Sometimes he gets like put around all these different places. He gets put with Slavin when Slavin's back for a little bit, which I know everyone loved that pairing, even though Nikishin was on his offside. Another really good matching, but he's starting to come into his own. I need him to want to shoot more, which you understood. Like Chatty even said, I think going into his second season with the Canes, that this was a team where it was different, where he's like, oh, they want me to shoot. They trust me to take the shot. I feel comfortable doing that. And you just need Nikishin to get to that part of, okay, they want me to take this shot. That's where I'm really valuable. Let me run this play like Ghost would. I'm starting to see him become more comfortable, even though there's been so much change up in the squad around him on defense. And you see that a little bit more where, yes, in the last couple of games, he's had a couple of mistakes. Some have led to some goals, some of him just not knowing, like making an error, but his recovery on a lot of these, and then to be able to put that play behind him, and the next play he makes a really good defensive, either a stop, a hit, something that changes the momentum, where you can see he put that last play out of his mind and he's immediately right back making his impact on the next play. So I've been really impressed with a guy that's had a lot of pressure on him since he came into the NHL with the Canes. I think there's a lot more to grow there. Obviously, it's his first season, and he's not with the defenseman that you originally want to put him with at all times. But I think he's really starting to grow into his own. I would say the one that I am the least impressed with, and I know to start the season, it was a little bit of a different note, but Keandre Miller has been struggling. He's been struggling. He's been making some really interesting plays, and just that where Nikishin has been able to put bad plays and bad moves behind him and move on to the next play, Miller has not really done that. I'll see him make a mistake, and the next play you can see he's still kind of struggling with what he's supposed to do. And like, yeah, he'll lay a hit every now and then to kind of make up for it, but he's still mentally on that last play. And that's kind of been a struggle because that's a guy that you need to be really on it, especially with Ghost out. So I've been a little bit more disappointed with his play of late when he's in the roster. Like he's been in and out of playing as well, but I would say he's the one of the guys that coming in that you're like, all right, let's see how they do, how they fit the system. He's slowly starting to impress me a little less. So I would say that's my impressed and my not impressed. And then my last note before I go on, Sean Walker has put in so much work playing the most consistent defensive hockey. Forget that -10. The poor man has been stuck out there when everyone's like, oh, I'm going to go cut my hand now. Oh, I'm going to go out with injury. Oh, I'm going to go out with illness. And he goes, okay, I guess I'm out here by myself just all the time. No matter what happens, like, yeah, he's going to have a negative because he's been stuck out there nonstop. He's like, oh, okay. I guess I'm the senior defenseman out here for a while. This is cool. Awesome, guys. Thanks. And his main defense partner from last year has been out, and he's not even paired with him anymore. So I will defend Sean Walker. I think he's done great with the workload that's been put on him this season. I don't take that plus minus for anything with him because goodness gracious, that man has done so much heavy lifting and has been on the ice so much. Whatever for that plus minus.
Yeah, Kat. I mean, Sean Walker, I was going to say something like, I always look at the plus minus as a context stat to his time on ice, because here's the thing. Before this season, last year, his 82 games with the Hurricanes, 1650. Colorado the season before, 1757. 1936 with Philly, 14, 18. Like, you get the point. This season with the Carolina Hurricanes, 22 minutes and 53 seconds of average time on ice. Yeah, that minus 10, nothing you can do when you're getting paired with every other guy on this lineup that either has played or even hasn't played. He's probably paired with them at some point, even at practice, because he's the guy right now. So yeah, almost 23 minutes a game and what he's done. Yeah, I'm not going to give any grief to Sean Walker for that minus 10. Like, I've been on the Sean Walker trade since we got him last season, and he played really well as the season progressed. He played great in the playoffs. Like I said, put him with Slavin this season, those two will be great together. And guess what? We've seen it for 2 games, because unfortunately the guy we wanted him to be with has been out for over 30 plus games. So yeah, no, Sean Walker has impressed me just because of the fact that he's been holding down the fort and basically doing almost everything he can other than putting up hat tricks and scoring goals at this point, because he is offensively minded, but I think he's that pure two-way guy who is just there to do his job and shutting down other teams. And he'll get those points occasionally, but he's not a defensive defenseman. He's just a two-way guy who can just go out there and play defense, essentially. So, yeah, Sean Walker's impressed me for what he's done. Well, I go with Kat said. Joel Nystrom. He played less than half a dozen games before coming into this season. Like, he played a couple games last year with the Chicago Wolves after playing over in, I think it was the Swedish league. Comes over, plays a couple of games, and then all of a sudden he's with the Hurricanes. Feels like he has been playing with this group forever, and look, he earned him a little nice 4-year extension, which he definitely deserved. Congratulations to him. Very team friendly on the AAV. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him more next year too. Like, he's going to be a mainstay on this Hurricanes blue line moving forward, and he's still young. Like, there's still much more he can do. So I would say Walker is really impressing me for what he's done. Nystrom just coming in and playing flawless hockey. Nikishin, he's been playing well some games, and he still kind of figuring it out. Which, I mean, it's tough for a guy in his first year in North America with the Hurricanes full time and still learning the system. So I'm not going to give him too much grief on that. He's been doing fine for what he has been doing. I mean, Ghost is over a point per game. Got to give him his flowers for what he's done. The fact that with all the other guys out, when he is in, Ghost is haunting so many other teams right now with his play. You got to give him his flowers as well. The only disappointing guy I would agree with Kat is it's Keandre Miller, but I give him the grace of his first season with the team, still learning the system, but also a lot of injuries. Like, he hasn't been paired with any of the guys that he was supposed to be with. Like, he's been with everyone too. So it's a little bit disappointing, but I'm going to give him that 1-year grace that we give the other guys. Like, we give it to Brent Burns, we gave it to Ghost, we give it to Walker. Like, we've given so many guys that, okay, we're giving you the benefit of the doubt for your first season with this defensive group because this system is so different compared to everyone else. So I'm not going to be like, oh, he's terrible, why do we get him? No, this is probably the worst case scenario of first season for a guy still learning a system when everyone and their mother outside of a couple guys are getting hurt. And we're going down to like our 13th defenseman with, Dominic Fensore. You've gone down to, Gavin Bayruth, who hasn't played yet, but he's been an extra. We're almost into the teens of defensemen in our depth chart. So yeah, I'm not going to, give Miller this guy stinks. It's just not a great first season. I get what you're saying.
I need him to get out of his head. I need him to be like, listen, these are the cards we're dealt at this time. You've got to play through. You made a mistake there. That's fine. Get to the next play and make something happen. That's what I really need from him, just because we're so struggling to have guys healthy and to make sure everyone's good to go and like make sure everyone's playing each night. And you can see the guys again, like even Tripp was saying it, like Stankoven currently is on a little bit of a drought, and he's saying he wants it so much that he's fighting it a little bit. Blake said before, like, he'll make a mistake, he's like, I gotta move on from it. So like the guys that struggle to move on from it is the guys that you notice working, like you're like, what's happening with him? And I just need him to get a little bit out of his head, which, coming from New York, maybe it's a little bit harder. So
yeah,
I'll say
I
that.
get what I get what you're saying. And like I said, it's just, he's fighting through it. Like I said, I'm going to give him the grace of, we give it to every other guy who's come over here on the defense. So he's struggling a little bit, but long season to go. Hopefully it kind of gets figured out as we go. But if Miller with his slight struggles is the worst part of our defense, I would say I'm pretty happy where we're at with our blue line group with all the injuries that are going on. It's not like there's a black hole in the defense. We're like, why is this guy here? We're not there with the Hurricanes in their blue line. It's just, the growing pains.
Sometimes with Mike Riley, I'm like that, but it's okay. Rich,
he was our seventh defenseman.
Rich, what about you?
Yeah, that's why I can't do too much on Mike Riley, because he was meant to be the seventh defenseman on this season. Obviously, the Russian Rocket, boom, Alexander Nikishin impresses me every time the puck leaves his stick. I'm like, this could be a goal, or move your head to anyone in the way, because that is terrifying. I've never seen a faster shot in person in my life. It is amazing. And the way he lays dudes out left and right, get the fuck out the way if Alexander Nikishin's skating towards you. Or else you're
get him some stronger sticks too. He's starting to have the Burns effect where those sticks aren't holding up.
Because he's shooting it so hard, he's breaking. That's why I said
exactly.
Give him a wood stick. These composites can't handle the guy. He's shooting it too hard.
No, Nikishin's incredible. Is exactly what I thought it'd be. A few learning curves still happening as well, but overall, very pleased with what I've seen with Alexander Nikishin. Disappointed, I'm going Jacob Slavin. I know you can't control injuries necessarily, but a part of that. Let me finish this. I think a part of that is the team, right, and them not being transparent with his injury, because I was like week to week, and 3 months later, it felt like he came back, he was out so much longer than everyone thought he was going to be. So no one knows truly what happened, and then for him to go down again and be out, it's tough. It's not on him for getting injured. I'm disappointed that it happened to him. I'm just disappointed in the way that the team has relayed his injury information, really all the injury information. The NFL, it's so clear, where the NHL, Rock can just say week to week and nothing happens. You can say week to week and guys out for 2 months.
And they'll give you no timetable either. Like,
I don't like that. So
the only one they give it a timetable to is Legault, and his was 2 to 3 months or 3 to 4, depending on who you ask. But he's the only one that's got a definite month. Every other guy, week to week. What does that mean? That's the bad thing. You never know what the actual meaning is to how long is he out for.
Yeah, so that's a part of it. I'm also a little bit worried that when Slavo does come back, what's he going to look like? How long is it going to take for him to get adjusted and, right, quote unquote, back in shape and just build that chemistry again? Hopefully there's enough lead time built in there to where you go into the playoffs and Slavo's back to being Slavo, but there's a little bit of concern, some worry there. So we'll see what happens, but it's just been disappointing with just not having him around and his minimal play. Everyone's favorite topic is going to come up on the other side of this break, getting to some ads. But first, the holidays are heating up on Pick 6, DraftKings' newest fantasy pick'em game. Make your NBA picks for a shot to win big cash prizes this holiday season. Here's how it works. Just choose more or less on 2 or more player stats. The more accurate your picks, the bigger your payout. It's the kind of upside you'll only find on Pick 6, not those other pick'em sites. And it's available in most states, including Texas, California, Georgia, and more. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. New DraftKings customers can play just $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits with code THPN. Ride the upside in partnership with DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded. as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer. So, everyone's favorite topic, goaltending. So, I mean, obviously, we're not going to do impress and not impress because those answers are obvious, but we'll talk through it itself. I'll go through the stats.
I mean, wait, no, real quick before in unison, let's say who we're all been very impressed with. 1, 2, 3.
Brandon Busty.
Who are we been disappointed with? 1, 2, 3. Freddie
Anderson.
So let's go through, read off these stats real quick. Brandon Busty, 13-1-1 on the season. He is first in the NHL in goals against average of 2.08. He also has a .911 save percentage. Meanwhile, Frederik Andersen, 5-9-2 on the season, 3.38 goals against average with a .865 save percentage. Piotr, I won't read the stats, but interesting tidbit though. Next year will be his final season before becoming an unrestricted free agent in the summer of 2027. And currently, as of this recording, he is the only goalie of the three that is currently signed to the team for next season. So really the question here is, what are your thoughts on the goaltender situation overall? And can the Canes survive with this 2 goalie setup?
I will say this: put some respect on the shutouts for Brandon Busty and Pyotr Kochetkov, because those guys have been impressive. And also Brandon Busty with an assist, first NHL point. Put some respect on that man's name. Yeah, I'm still kind of upset for the fact that he should have broken. I love Cam Ward, but he should have broken Cam's record of consecutive wins in a season, because he was right there for 10. That's a different conversation. Brandon Busty's been fantastic. Who could have seen? I mean, I knew he was good at Providence with the Bruins because I watched him a little bit, covered it for a little bit. He was great there. No idea he was going to make the team because he was never with us with training camp. He was just a guy in class of emergency with Keenan Primo getting picked up by Toronto. Piotr's out, slowly getting the wins, and then all of a sudden, bang, here you go. 13 wins in his first 15 starts. Almost a sub 2 goals against, save percentage out, crazy, and shutouts, points, and all that stuff. He's been the lifeline for the Carolina Hurricanes, and the thing is, too, Rich, he can officially talk about or get an extension as of New Year's Day. So I'd say there should be conversations that probably need to be had with Brandon Busty to get him extended, because every team is probably going to be like, maybe we should go get this guy. If you're the Carolina Hurricanes, you extend him as fast as possible, because you're going to need him past this season. Because I looked at the free agent class for goalies this summer. We thought it was bad last year. It does not get any better this season. It is not good for free agent goalies. It's not good. So maybe it's you go sign Busty and give him an extension. Be like, all right, Busty and Piotr next season. Let's get this over with. Piotr's been great. Stinks that he's out with a hip surgery. Hopefully, he has a safe recovery. If he comes back, great. If not, hopefully he'll be ready to go for 26, 27. Freddie Anderson, not going to say every goal is on him, especially in this last one against Pittsburgh. But when you are 1-8-2 in your last 11 starts and you haven't won since November 9th, oof, Maroons, that is some not great hockey. Like I said, it's not all on him, but that is not good at all either. And now it's a combination of him. It's a combination of the team in front of him not giving the run support, and just it's been all kinds of bad in front of Freddie. And do I think they're going to survive? I don't know, because they sent Antti Raanta down to the Chicago Wolves very quick when he struggled last season. And I know Kat kind of mentioned on social media, give Keenan Primo a shot, run with Busty, see how this works out, because you got to give Freddie a break. You got to give him a mental reset, because right now he is struggling. The team in front of him is struggling when he's in the net. You cannot ride Brandon Busty for however long this is going to work out, because you don't have Piotr. If Freddie's going to lose you every other game, or if he's going to maybe sneak you one, if he does, that's going to be a lot of pressure on a guy that you did not have in training camp, that you got off a waiver. That's been a Cinderella run right now.
Yeah. I don't think it would hurt if you've already been running the 3 goalie run anyway. I don't think it would hurt to have good Primo shot because he was kind of going to be your guy before Bussy showed up, and he played well with the Canes. He played well. That's why everyone was really upset when he got taken off waivers, because we were like, shoot, that was a guy we were going to probably have to depend on. Do I think 2 guys claiming off waivers running with them is going to be what everyone expected and the way to go? I don't know. But right now you've got your clear guy, and you have to get someone that's going to carry a game when he can't. Because we do have a lot of back-to-backs coming up. Unfortunately, So Gold was a little bit dumb with his responses, because I saw where he was like, oh yeah, Aho would have scored that if Freddie had made the save. You can't blame all the goals on Freddie. That they're not the case. But you can even tell that with Tripp talking and Mike talking, even Tripp was like, there's a couple there you gotta make. And that's the difference, is you can't blame all of that on Freddie. But there are goals that happened where you're like, I'm pretty sure Bussy would have made that. Like, it's just a goal where it's like, do I expect you to fully make it? Maybe not, but I need you to make one. Like, I need you to make a save that's not expected. You need you to do something that's going to keep them in it. And Bussy has done that even when the Canes, like you've seen, there's been times where the Canes are down 1 or down 2, and he's just kept them in the game to the point where they trust him enough to be able to get back into the game and score instead of keep thinking about defensive errors and where they're going to be. On the Rangers games, like, I know the Rangers aren't the same as what they were, but on the Rangers, there were a couple breakdowns where it was a 2v1, and I saw the defenseman literally go, like, take care of the other guy, be like, so, like, I see them sometimes kind of question, should I go for it, should I not? And saw them leave their feet and cover the other guy and just trust that Bussy had the guy that had the puck. And every time Bussy made the right move, and you could just see the confidence in that guy being like, it's a 2-on-1, but really it's a 2-on-2 because I trust my goalie. Whereas there are plays here, like the one Pittsburgh goal where the guy made it literally diving on his stomach, where the defender just didn't have any trust there, and it still didn't matter because he tried it and Freddie still didn't have the save. So it's not that I blame everything on him, but when you're not making those extra saves here and there to keep your team in it, to show them, hey, I've got your back when things break down, then they start playing scared in front of you. They play like they don't trust you. They make more defensive mistakes because they're trying to do too much. And then, yeah, some of those goals are on the guys in front of you, 100%. But it's on them because they're not playing well, because they're worried about what you're doing. And when you have a guy fighting it like that, it's just so hard, because right now you're down with injuries. You've got different lineups going on. Your defense is already getting a little bit thinner than it normally is. And to have your goalie on top of that just not doing what you need him to do, I feel for Freddie, but it is like, it's very similar to Antti Ranta, where it's just like the guy just couldn't get into the groove to the point where it's like, okay, well, maybe give Freddie some rest and he'll get more into it. But now you've seen him and it's like, no, like there's games where you have a couple shots on Bussy and you're like, I hate to admit it, but those first couple of shots, if it had been on Freddie, we would have been down 2-0 because he doesn't make those saves when you need him to, or even some of the routine ones where you're like, so what saves are you going to make? So I'm disappointed that Piotr is down. Obviously, this probably was a hard decision for him. It's been plaguing him all season. You know, he probably would have loved to go on the run with like him and Bussy as a tandem, but I hope this figures it out for him so he feels more comfortable next season.
Could you imagine the type of season we'd be talking about right now if Brandon Bussy wasn't playing out of his mind like he has been? We'd be talking about this team like the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. So
here's the crazy part.
Bussy.
Here's the crazy part. With Brandon Bussy in the net, guess how many points the Hurricanes have gained with him in the crease? 27 points. 27 points with him in the crease. That I wish that one in the overtime loss wasn't existing, and it's like 14-1 because that game was theirs. But yeah, 27 points out of a possible 30 that he's played.
He's that perfect mix of, he has that calmness, like they say, he's so calm back there, but he makes those kind of crazy Piotr saves every now and then where you're like, okay, so he feels like he's gonna flail, but he's also going to be calm about when he does it and just make sure that he does whatever he can. Like, this is a guy that's seizing the opportunity and playing his absolute darndest best, because he's like, I know they need me, and this is my chance to get into this league and show what I can do. Oh, I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm going to do the extra work. And honestly, I maintain, not that Florida game where the guy self-destructed, I maintain it started with Marchand cheap shotting Bussy to get Bussy out of his positioning, because there's no way Bussy wouldn't have stopped that otherwise if you didn't have him down and out of positioning. So
how you not challenge it still blows my mind. How do you not challenge that?
Because you don't trust the system. That's what Rod says. But
yeah, another challenges are a whole nother conversation for another episode. But yes, all things considered, Brandon Bussy playing amazing. Freddie, questionable at best. So we'll see what both Rod decides to do if Tulski gives him a break, if someone else is called up, even if you go try to trade for some second guy. We'll kind of go ahead and see what happens there.
Real quick, Rich, I think Kane Stabran put this out there for the Olympics. I think Denmark has got, I think the States, I forget, I think it's like Germany and someone else. Like, they have a tough group to start the Olympics. So, yeah.
We'll see. But to wrap up here, team stats, we touched on them a little bit, and the individual players. But through everything we just said, the ups and the downs, highs and lows, the Canes are first in the Eastern Conference, first in the Metro Division, currently sitting with 51 points as of this recording on New Year's Eve 2025. They have the 22nd ranked power play, as we touched on, so a 10 position increase from where they were just a month ago. Currently, as Kat mentioned, they are missing Jacob Slavin as their 18th in the penalty kill. Combined goaltending, they are 11th in goals against average. But as far as save percentage, I'm sure Freddy's is bringing this down quite a bit, as they are tied for 24th in the NHL. Any quick thoughts on those team stats and the Canes being first in the East, regardless of everything?
Power play's getting better, thankfully. PK doing the best they can with what they got going on right now. For the fact of where they're the first in the East and they're top 5 in the league, shows the testament of this team where there's no quit. They're going to keep fighting on it. Hopefully, maybe less back and forth. Is this going to be a win or not type of games? But still very confident in this team to go win the division, take the number 1 spot in the East. Is just kind of trend the waters right now. Hopefully, get all your big boys back and everyone stays healthy. And I'm curious to see what Eric Tulsi does when we get closer to the trade deadline, because obviously right now, kind of need a little extra help. And you got the cap space and the trade capital to do it. Go get it done.
Kat, final thoughts? Let's get into the new year. That's all I gotta say.
There we go. Well said. And speaking of the new year, we do have one game to look at and predict quickly. The Montreal Canadiens are in town on New Year's Day this season. Canadiens are second in the Atlantic Division with 48 points, with a record of 21-12 and 6th. So guys to look out for: Nick Suzuki tied for 15th in the NHL in points. Cole Caulfield is tied for 30th in the NHL in points. So some weapons there to look after. We'll go ahead and quickly give our predictions: win-loss, overtime loss. I'm going win. This team finds a way to bounce back, hopefully for longer than the first period compared to the Tampa game after the Florida game. I'm hoping for a full performance. Brandon Bussy should be scheduled to be in net, hopefully, so that should help as well. I have the Canes winning this one.
Got the Canes winning too. Hopefully this is a bounce back game. They're going to need it. And I think after the game against Pittsburgh, they're really going to be like, no, we're going to need to step this one up, because Saturday is not going to be any easier. So you're going to need to win against Montreal. You're going to need those points.
I'm going to say it's a win. I'm going to say it's a bounce back game. You're back at home. And you're going to have Bussy probably in net. Well, yep, you're going to have Bussy probably in net, and praying that he's also in net on Saturday. But yeah, I feel like they're going to get back and they're going to say, we got to do better than that. Yeah.
Honestly, I think this game is a huge one for the simple fact of if you happen to lose against the Canadians, that stretch going into Colorado at New Jersey versus Dallas could end up looking ugly and could potentially lead into 5 straight losses. I don't want to put that out there. I'm just saying
I
this
wouldn't say New
game.
Jersey. I'm not saying Jersey's a loss.
Add Jersey after losing 3 in a row. I don't know. We'll see.
I think
Jersey just got whooped.
I think
Jersey just got whooped. I'm not worried about New Jersey like that.
I think it's a big deal because I think it needs to prove you got to get back and win at home. And to start off being at home and playing a top team, you got to get back into that feel of it. These are teams coming up that you played and you were down and struggling when you played these teams before. So these are teams that you got to be like, all right, well, we got to suck it up and we got to go back and play it. And I'm hoping Montreal's a kickstart because I do know when they get that challenge of playing guys like the Avs, playing Dallas, all of them, they do kind of step up to that plate when they need to. And so I'm hoping that Montreal is a kickstart to that. Because gosh, let's start 2026 right.
That's right.
I'm hoping
we're all trying to manifest a win.
Yes,
without a doubt.
Yeah. Maybe a New Year's Eve miracle or a New Year's miracle that we get Seth Jarvis back for the Colorado game at least,
or at least Slavin,
or both. Why not? Why not?
Why not? 2025 year of optimism. 2026 year of delusional hope. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. But
we'll workshop that.
Yeah, we will figure it out. Coming up on future episodes, we'll be live Friday night with DNVR's Bailey Curtis to preview the Avs game, a few other games coming up as well. But we appreciate y'all joining us back here on the SurgeCast. We'll continue to have you covered, hopefully weekly coming up through the playoffs. So thank y'all for joining, and we'll see you next time here on the SurgeCast.